He was buzzing just off of the quality of your music.
Yes. Yes. For sure. For sure. Yes.
Did you do videos?
Okay. Um. His was weird. I didn't do videos at that time. I wasn't doing videos for the music, but my man's would film like some of the ciphers because he would eventually get like one of those dope cannons, like a I don't know if it was like a 7D or what, but he had a dope camera at one point, and my man's would film some of the ciphers. They online. Um, I think I don't know if it's still on my page or not, but there's a couple of freestyles around somewhere. Says Morgan Cipher, Morgan Freestyle, something like that. I'm around them, some of them. Uh, and they would just film some of the freestyles and stuff. Like they would just film some of the ciphers or whatever. But I ain't start making. The first time I did a music video, I put an album. I put another mixtape out called The Outsiders, and it was based on like the novel. Also,
No.
kind of
Okay, no,
loosely
pause,
based.
pause. We'll get to your music video. Now we're at the
Mhm,
Outsiders novel. The music videos
mhm.
after that. So
Okay,
how did that come to be? Let's talk about this, cause yo, I have that book in my apartment right now.
best freaking novel ever. My mother put me on. That was actually not only her one of her favorite books, but one of her favorite movies as well. And that is one of the very few movies I've ever seen make my mother cry. Uh,
That is a crazy cast too. Can we just give props to
yes.
that fucking lineup?
Yep. Matt Dillon and I forgot who was Capone Boy.
I
Forgot
don't
that
remember
dude's
either.
name.
I know the cast is crazy. I feel like
Yeah.
all sorts of classic people are there,
Patrick
and
Swayze
I
was in
can't
it. Yep.
name any of them right now because I'm really bad with
Mm-hmm.
movies. That's what it is. But that's fine. I still know it's dope. I read the book. I saw the movie. I'm with you. I get it. That shit is
Yeah.
a powerful fucking book that most people I think should consume in their life. Tom
So
Cruise. It was a young Tom Cruise.
yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're
Nah, your
right.
lady friend Bonnie was right because she's the best.
Oh,
She's the
amen.
boss
Thank you.
too. The boss.
Mm.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Appreciate the platform. Thank you. Thank you. But
She's
yo,
wonderful.
one of my favorite books of all time, yo, for sure. One of my favorite books of all time, best movie ever. And it kind of influenced me to make a tape based around that, and weirdly, the tag team of the same name. So I meshed them together. Like if you ever saw the cover, it's on, again another project that's on
So you're
Bandcamp.
into wrestling?
Yes. Oh,
That's
I ain't.
fucking cool.
Yeah, I haven't even told you about that. So my best friend, Blizz, he's a photographer for many different wrestlers. Like he's for anybody of the modern era, he's probably taking a picture of him. Matt Hardy and all kinds of but so he he kind of got me into like indie wrestling, like when it was really dope, like when everybody was on it.
You okay?
And
Trust. I'm with you, my
mhm.
boy. So my boy linked up with the Chinese wrestling scene and was the
Oh
dude
yeah.
who brought the first Chinese wrestling federation into Canada in for the first time. Like my dude made that
Oh,
happen. So let's
okay.
say I give a shit about wrestling more than a lot of people might expect. So I'm totally with you and
Yo,
shit.
what? That's beautiful. Yo,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
I'm heavy. I'm heavy in the wrestling. Heavy in the wrestling.
Like I don't think I can watch the WWE. I went in for about a year and a half. This was 2007, 2008. I became a
Okay,
huge
yeah.
Jeff Hardy fan.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Hardy won. But by that point, it's a weird time, man. Like that was like when Hornswoggle was a person, and like a
Yeah.
lot of fucking weird shit was happening. So it was hard to like
Yeah.
really get into it. And they stopped blood around that time,
Yep.
which also diminished the quality of the product and relied more on apparently weird shit.
Yep.
So I fell off a little bit, but I also know about the TNAs. I currently know how AEW is crushing. My dude got is big into the Japan one, the Japan one that does the Kingdom something wrestling.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then Wrestle Kingdom something.
Wrestle
And
Kingdom.
then
Yep.
there's a couple of dudes from TNA that went over there and won belts, and that was a huge fucking deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyway, so I went down and saw an indie show this Chinese federation, ICW. I can't fucking remember what it is. Anyway, my dude was the guy in the ring and shit and whatnot. It was fucking dope. So that was my first like, yeah. So he ended up being that. Plus, he was then running out to the side and being like ringside announcer at the same time.
Yo,
and
that's hard.
And I went to like this fucking indie wrestling show, and I'd never really been to an indie wrestling show. I'd seen it on TV. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't even give a fuck if you don't like wrestling. Go to an indie wrestling show.
Yes,
this
please.
Shit is a motherfucking experience.
It is.
You can't fathom it. Call it fake, whatever you fucking want. When this shit's in your fucking face, it is serious. Okay, it is not the TV bullshit.
Yeah, especially if they get hurt. Oh my God! If they get hurt, I was front row for some indie legends getting almost killed over some stuff. So I'm like, all right, well, I mean, we gonna call it fake, or we just? I mean, I feel like the best word to use for it is staged, but people, I don't know, they throw the fake word around a lot with that mess, but. I done seen people almost die, like get thrown through glass. I look at it like
I even watched. Okay, like Jeff Hardy did a swanton bomb from like 30 feet in the air.
Yep.
Say what the fuck you want. That's cool.
Yeah. And he got up after eventually. He got up after that.
I like soap operas when they're done right, and wrestling is a soap opera done right.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Come on, man.
And it's dope. I don't care what anyone says, man. Like,
yeah, for sure. I'd high five you if I was in the vicinity. But
so,
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was heavy into wrestling. And you mentioned AEW. We'll talk about that later. I'm gonna talk about that later. But yeah. So I put out a tape called The Outsiders. I mixed the theme of the movie and the tag team, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and like the NWO, and I just did that. And there's all kinds of samples and stuff in it and all that. Another tape on Bandcamp that's on there. I think I put that out in like 2013. That's the first tape I think I made money from.